Faris took a sip of water last time before the thing set. Oh, okay.
Hey.
All right.
Man.
I'm taking your job. I'm taking your job.
You sick bastard.
I'm taking water too.
Today we've gone with
Well-
blue. Anyways.
Blue is the color of the day. All right. Hey, everybody. My name's Reese, the Puffman. And I want to welcome you to episode 2 of the C.W.H podcast, the Coping Wankers Hideout. It's exquisite. You know, it's special. It's my safe space. But it's also your safe space. Anyways, I got my 2 co-hosts with me. There's Unis, lottanascalliber.
Hello.
And we also got Ali. Lycoris.
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 You know how to say
Hey,
it.
my
Why
bad.
are you
Hey,
butchering
my
it?
bad.
Lycoris.
Words get hard when I'm on
What's
camera.
what's our guest name again? Lycoris Toqa? Is that his name? Like, what is the story behind that?
All right, so the name is pronounced Lycoris Toqa, right? I believe it's licorice anyway. So the licorice comes from, it's a name for a flower, spider lilies.
Oh, the spy. Yeah. You're right.
Yep, that's the name for that. And Toqa, when I had my Netflix, I went back to Iran for a while. And when I came on my way back in the airport, I just opened up my Netflix account and I just saw this user named Toqa. So, you know, it got hacked into and someone just had the name Toqa on my Netflix. I was like, hey, that's a nice name.
Oh.
I'm just going to use that.
Oh.
Jesus. All right.
Well, whoever you are, Toqa, if you're out there, thank
Hey,
you.
man.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. You've
I
given
miss that guy.
given his name. You've taken his name.
You've given me identity.
Yeah.
I like it.
You've given him purpose.
I
It's
live
a religion.
Toqa is a religion. Yeah. It's the
I
newest
live
religion.
I live to spread your word on the internet. That's what I do.
You hear like 3
Maybe
knocks
it's
on your
just an
door.
infection, dude.
You just hear 3 knocks on your door. It's just like, do you have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior and Hatflix? And Hatflix? What?
Hatflix?
Hackflix. Yeah.
Hatflix.
Hackflix. Yeah. Sorry. Netflix hacker Toqa.
Man, dude.
Let him shine light on your dark, belittered soul.
Is
For he will let
is
you cook.
iFlix still open?
iFlix.
Is iFlix still kicking?
I think
It's
so.
like it was like the Southeast Asia equivalent of Netflix before
Yeah,
Netflix arrived.
I think it's still kicking. I think so.
I'm not too sure. I thought, to be honest, I've not used iFlix or even like searched up iFlix in like years.
I mean, I know someone who recently interned there, so at least the company's there.
It's still
Okay,
there.
it's still
It
there.
exists.
Alright.
It's
Yeah.
still real.
Okay. Yeah, no, I've just not used iFlix. I'm still on like Netflix. I'm on Netflix. I'm on like Amazon Prime Video, Disney Plus. There's so many subscription services these days, man.
I know. It just sucks money out of you.
That's the thing.
Yeah. I don't have the time to watch shows or anything anymore, so I canceled all my subscriptions. I don't have anything anymore.
Whoa.
Yeah, fair enough. Because it's like if you don't watch anything, and
It's
all of a sudden
pointless.
you get your email sent to you, it's like, oh, your subscription has been renewed, and it's just like, I just got like $50 stolen out of me. And I know
Yeah,
I'm not. I was like, I'm not gonna open that fucking I'm not gonna open up the fucking subscription service.
Yeah, so I canceled all of it. The only subscription service I have now is Discord Nitro. that's all I have.
Fair enough. I have like
Nitro
I've
is a
many.
necessity.
Mm.
You need it for the
It's a
memes.
necessity.
You need it for
Yeah,
the
need
memes.
it for the memes.
You know, I don't think we ever introduce the walking animals behind Faris's frames.
Oh yeah, we
What
never
animals?
did. Mm.
It's all in your head.
No, that's just that's Faris's hands shadows, right? That he's just making
It's a green screen.
shadow puppets.
It's a green screen. That cat is not real.
Dude, I've been practicing my puppeteering skills lately. You know, ever since I watched that 3D Pinocchio movie that was like,
Oh
just
my
garbage.
god, dude.
I haven't even heard
Dude,
about
I don't
this.
know
What
why
is
I brought
this?
it. Dude, it's so you don't want to know, but like, you know, the best on-screen depiction of Pinocchio obviously was Shrek, but like second following that is like the classic animation. But this last one that they put out, I don't know why they put it out. Maybe it's because like they were trying to get the next generation in on it. But God, it was just so I felt like cutting my eyeballs out. You know, not cutting, tearing
Just
my fingernails.
just going at it. Can you believe that like that Pinocchio movie released last year, right?
Wait, when did Puss in Boots release?
This year.
Peek and
Was
Boots.
it end of this end of
Just
last
now.
year or this year?
End of last year.
I think, and like right at the end of last year.
Okay. So they were released in the same year.
Yeah. So oh my god, okay.
Dude, what studio even did Pinocchio?
Which one? Because I was
Is
about
this
to
just
because I was about to say right. Last year, there were a total of 3 Pinocchio movies.
Jesus, wait, really?
Yes.
What the fuck?
No, ain't no way.
Yes.
There's no fucking way.
For
there's-
some countries, Pinocchio: A True Story released a little bit later into 2022, and that movie was the is your cat pulling down your curtain?
No, he's hanging out.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
So for that movie released a little bit later for some countries, and that Pinocchio is the one where the voice actor is just like, but father, I want to be a real boy.
The boy who lived.
That's the one. And then there was also, let's see, there's also Pinocchio, just the movie called Pinocchio. And that
Just
one,
Pinocchio.
yeah, I think that one was like a.
I don't know why that's funny to me.
That one's a musical. Yeah, that one's a musical. And then
That's the one with Tom Hanks that you're thinking of, I think.
correct. Yes, yeah.
They did a real good job with his makeup. But that's not. Yeah, I was definitely talking about that first one. But there's also one more.
Yes, there is one more, and that one is GDT's Pinocchio.
Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro.
How do you actually pronounce it?
Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo? Guillermo?
Guillermo.
I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah, okay. We'll call him GDT.
Hey, no offense, but if you want to cast me for your next movie, I'm here.
Our big boy GDT.
Also, before we go on any further, I just want to say thank you to everyone who watched the last podcast. We got like 80 views, which was higher than I expected.
Oh yeah, straight off the bat, 80
Yeah.
views.
That's pretty good.
I do want to see how many people listened in on like the Spotify version, because I got like a few messages like within the same week when we released everything on Spotify. I got a few Instagram messages and Discord messages like congratulating me for the release of the podcast, and like people were saying like, oh yeah, I've been listening to it while I was doing my assignments. It is assignment hell out there this year, dude. Like everyone, I swear everyone started this year with assignments on the from the
It's
get
a
go.
war zone, dude.
Jeez.
You see, that's why I go to the university I go to, because we're this far in and I still have no assignments.
Huh?
Hey, what?
Hey yo, what university?
I don't have
are
a
you
single
going to?
assignment, dude. We've changed our timetable 5 times.
Huh?
So, help university. Shout out.
Oh,
Thank you for
you
not
know,
giving me any work.
all of a sudden it makes sense. they have a rep. They have a rep, but they don't exactly have a bad rep. They have a pretty decent rep actually. Help.
I don't know how they do. I don't know how they have a decent rep. It's just a mess.
It's just decent because of the intake,
Probably, yeah.
and it just gets the students like the paper, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
and
It
then-
definitely gets you the paper.
It gets you the paper, and it's like that's it. Just go.
Bye now.
Yeah, bye-bye.
In another life, I almost signed up. I was really considering it.
Oh my
for a
god.
moment.
I can't imagine you going to college. It's just not possible.
Oh my god, yeah.
I'm not sure if you ever watched
the
like
engagement
an
going to
extremely goofy
college.
movie. I'd be Max, the guy. It's me.
I'm the guy.
And then there'd be like a whole thing with skateboarding and the triathlon
And the singing
and the singing and the snapping in the bar.
and the snapping in the bar. I was gonna say that, the snapping in the bar, dude. That's such an iconic scene.
I'm glad I know nothing about this.
Oh my god, Ali. So now we have to bring you to an arcade. You have to do your Pottermore test. And
I
then
did that.
Oh, you did your. Oh, what?
He did.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, he did his Pottermore
shoot,
test.
He
He did his
did.
Pottermore test. What'd you get?
So, before hold on. Before you say it, I just want to bring up what I said he was gonna be last time. I predicted Hufflepuff, just by how he acts. All right. Don't get me wrong. I'm an empath sometimes,
Okay.
conditionally.
But sadly,
So-
I did not get Hufflepuff. So, I got Slytherin.
You know what? That
Stop
makes
fucking lying, you Hufflepuff bitch.
that.
I got Hufflepuff.
I'm not.
He got Hufflepuff.
I got Hufflepuff.
I wouldn't have been surprised if you got Slytherin.
What the fuck? What did I do?
That's what That's where the line was for me. He was not gonna be Gryffindor, and he was not gonna be Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
Mm,
And I think I'm more loyal than I am a snake. So,
sure, yeah, but I feel like Slytherin is so like. I know the Pottermore test tried to make it seem that Slytherin was not essentially a bad guy house, and it's just like it's not a bad guy house, guys. We swear. Like, even though in the movie, like, all the bad guys are like from Slytherin, it's like, we swear Slytherin's like not a bad guy house. It just happens to be filled with like rowdy kids. It's like it's Pottermore tried to make it a little. It's a very small margin, a little bit more fair, and it's just like your kind of like traits and stuff. Like, would you immediately jump into danger to save someone, or would you calculate your risks? And that's like a Hufflepuff Ravenclaw thing. Or would you just go around sneakily and maybe just whack the guy over the head? That's more of a Slytherin thing.
No, the Slytherin thing is waiting for somebody else to do it.
Oh yeah, true. Actually, there's like that one question, right? Like, you hear danger or something, like some sort of commotion in the alleyway, and then they ask you like, what's your action? And you can like stake it out, or you can like immediately go help.
or you can bring out your phone and take a video.
Yeah, and shout
That's-
shout World Star.
Ravenclaw moment.
Someone gets fucking like Avada Kedavra, and you're just like, World Star. Guy's dead on the ground, evaporated into literally pixie dust. Jeez.
And since we're on the Harry, oh yeah, I got my Patronus as well. Is that what it's called?
The
Oh,
Patronus,
yeah, you got your
Patronus.
Patronus.
Yeah, some bird. I forgot what the fuck.
Some
Got a
bird.
useless
You
fucking
got a
bird.
Got a fucking bird.
Oh man.
Do you know your Patronus, Anna?
Yeah. So the thing is, I've done the Pottermore test. I know they tell you not to do it multiple times, but I did it multiple times anyways.
What?
Yeah.
Man, you're cheating.
The thing is, it all ended up in Ravenclaw anyways.
Okay.
So
You're just checking the validity of
yeah. It's like I always run through like the tests like a second time. Like, are you sure this is what this test thinks of me? And it's like, oh yeah, okay, I'm Ravenclaw like through and through. The Patronus the Patronus has changed, though, every time.
That's fair.
Yeah.
They
That's
ask different
fair.
questions.
Yeah. So I think my current Patronus is an elephant. My previous Patronus was like a boar, and my previous Patronus was a snake.
It's really weird. The questions sometimes are so vague.
That's
And it just doesn't make sense. to me.
yeah, no, I think it's supposed to be like a oh, you have to feel the magic kind of thing, you know? So it's like when the questions are vague, it's like you're just supposed to kind of have this situation in your head already kind of playing out, and that's like they're testing your instinct.
Mm,
So
I guess so.
I really dislike the Patronus test because I feel like I was discriminated against.
why, what did you get?
Man, they gave me a fucking rat. Alright? A rat. I was so mad. Like, Ellie was there. I was like, it said that the rat will, in my hardest times, will come and crawl up to my ear and tell me it's gonna be okay. But at least, Ellie's bird will like do something.
Yeah, that's
What-
true.
What if I'm about to get like, eviscerated into pixie dust on the ground?
Bro,
I think the
My
first
rat's like,
the first
"You're doing
words
great,
like
buddy."
the first words that came out of my mouth when I saw the rat was, "Oh shit, it's a motherfucking rat!"
oh shit, it's a rat.
I can't handle it,
Oh,
dude. I can't
God.
believe this shit.
Dude, imagine if you had like Imagine if his Patronus was like a peregrine falcon or something. He'd eat your rat.
Man, I can't remember what the name of Ellie's fucking Patronus was, but it was
It was Nightjar.
It was a nightjar.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell a
But
nightjar is.
like all these birds have a special name. All these animals have like, but like mine's literally called rats.
Just
mouse.
rat.
It's not gerbil. It's not. I want the G-Force.
It's not
guy.
Ratatouille.
You guys know about G-Force?
G-Force.
It's not Ratatouille either.
Oh man, G-Force. What a time G-Force was. Holy.
G-Force was ahead of its time.
Mm.
Its game was ahead of its
Dude,
time.
the game.
Let me tell you.
I was in like
What a
a
game.
recent discussion of like old games, and man, G-Force was one of those games. Like the conversation I was having was basically like, what were the games you played in your childhood? And like I started off with a Nintendo Wii and a PSP. So on the Nintendo Wii, I mostly played like the Wii Sports stuff, and I
Damn.
played what is it? I think I played one of the Lego Star Wars games on the Wii as well.
You guys are playing actual games.
Yeah,
My
and
my introduction to games was like this app that has like it makes ants walk on your screen and you just click them and it squashes them.
Bro,
That was
Oh,
my
shit, on
game.
the old iPhone, dude.
That
Holy
was so. That
smokes.
was the entire fucking game for me. I just
Yes, it was on
killed
iPod.
ants, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm having fun, yay!"
yeah, but like that was the game I played. I played Need for Speed Carbon on the Wii, so you know I had to physically steer the car with the Wii remote, which was very fun and infuriating. And then on my PSP, I had a lot of goated games on my PSP. One of them being like Burnout Revenge.
Bro.
I got a PSP, and it lasted me 1 month. we were going on a holiday, and I left my PSP on the back seat, like car where I usually sit,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we were like going from like city to city. And I just sat on the PSP and I did not realize I was on it. So when we got out the car, it was completely like smashed in.
Oh.
I've also had a issue with me sitting on a PSP as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think it's pretty common.
the screens are very fragile, actually. Surprisingly fragile. Like you can drop that thing as long as that thing like lands on its back or like on the corner ish, it'll be fine. But it's like flat on the screen. If you put any sort of like hard pressure on it, it's gone.
Yeah, so I didn't get
That's,
to
like,
enjoy
all old,
PSP a lot.
I swear that's all old like tech though.
It is,
Before they had all these fancy cases for every single device in the universe.
All the old tech, except the
The old
Nokia.
tech, if it falls flat.
Except the Nokia.
Okay. That's too old. Not in that.
not in
That's,
that
like,
not in that
past the
bracket.
line.
Yeah. Man, those.
Because like before the
Nokias.
Nokias, we had those brick phones, those giant brick ones.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to get one and turn it into a mic, but it's hard to find one.
Is that
It's hard to find one that hasn't been tampered with.
is that just so you can have like that processed audio already there in that sense? So it's like that. Like you don't have to process the audio into that style in post. You already have it in that style from the
yeah,
get go.
sort of. It's sort of like that, but also I'm always gonna, as much as like most of my studio is digital,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I'm mature enough to know that there's really, you can really hear a difference. There's a genuinity difference right now. And maybe in 5 years,
Mhm.
maybe in 10 years, it'll be gone. But right now you can still hear it, even with like digital synths versus analog.
Sure, yeah. It's
Like,
like you can't
still
really
there.
you can't really fight. Like I think that's a topic as well, for like photography as well. You know, right now, the one of the cameras that's like really exploded in terms of like popularity is the Fujifilm 100 XV, and
Yeah.
and that camera is so like it's a nice camera. It's a really good camera, and I see why a lot of people love it because of the way it shoots and the kind of quality that you get. It's like film quality essentially. It's like you're shooting on a 35 millimeter but film, right? Like Kodak film.
Mhm.
But the discourse is that like this camera is ridiculously expensive to obtain, and the price margin has hopped so high up because of its popularity, and it's blowing up on TikTok for good reason. It's a good camera, but you know, people are also saying like, if you want to shoot film, just shoot film. You know,
Yeah.
it's like the camera, a film camera, won't be anywhere near the price of a Fujifilm 100XV, and the
For real.
majority of your budget is gonna go into actually buying the film rolls. And of course, you have to learn how to use it and be very technical with it, so you can't fuck up, and you don't want to do like a blank shot. But you can't, like, even when you do it side by side, you can see the differences of like proper raw kind of like film shots, and then the Fujifilm camera.
Dude, let me tell you, like, it's funny that we're talking about this now because I just talked about this with my brother. But I was looking at cameras literally 3 hours ago. I was looking to buy one because I'm about to travel. I'm about to travel to San Diego in like a few days.
Okay.
So I was like, man, we don't have a camera. And then he told me we have this old Nikon.
Oh
cool pics.
my
It's-
god.
It's not hot pink, but it is pink. All right, it's like, I don't know what pink this is, but it's my mom's from ages ago, and I was like, you know what? I need to get a charger for this because it might match up to like the aesthetic
Yeah.
level that I'm
Yeah,
looking
no,
for.
no, yeah, it
Like,
would. So
And yeah, people might give me weird looks.
to our audio
but-
only listeners, he just pulled out like a really, really dated like Nikon camera, and it's like bright pink.
It's bright pink. It's smaller than most phones.
Yeah, it's basically the size of his hand. My mom used to have like a camera like that. I think we had two, right? Her second one, of course, I think
Right.
is still somewhere around. But the first one, I remember she used it a lot. It was like a maroon kind of like Sony handheld camera.
Sure.
I think it was a Sony. Might have been Canon. I don't know. I'm not too sure. But
Mhm.
that was one of her favorite cameras. And then eventually we went back to our hometown in Kuantan. And we went to the beach and we lost it in the water.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking hate when that happens.
Yeah. So, and you know, that brings me onto the topic of like the PSP stuff as well. Guys, if you're gonna have handheld stuff, please just get like a fucking hand strap for your shit. just let it hang. Yeah, like like that.
Let it hang.
Just let it
I
hang.
don't-
Let it
I
hang
like
low. Let it
No,
swing.
stop,
Let it
please,
swing
stop.
around, guys. Let it hang.
Aye.
I wish mine swang. Anyways,
Okay.
I wish I had one to swing.
so I was looking at this camera and I was so shocked, dude. The memory card inside it, it's 8 gigs.
It's 8
It's
gigs.
like 8 gigs. I was like, 8 gigs is nothing now.
Yeah.
8 gigs is like peanuts, dude.
It really is.
Because like I got it for my audio recorder, my portable audio recorder. It's like a Zoom H5. I swear I have a 256 micro SD card in there. It's teeny.
Oh.
So every time you guys get into technical stuff like this, I'm just lost because I don't know any of it.
I mean, well, here it's just you've seen it before. It's my audio recorder. That's like portable.
Oh, this thing.
It's handheld, and then like my micro SD inside it, which is not this shit, but this shit.
I've seen so many people do ASMR.
256.
Is that like a condom for your micro SD? Like what?
I've seen so many
It's
people
not
do
a
ASMR
condom,
with
it's a
this
strap on.
with this microphone.
Yeah, well, I mean, it also works like as a audio interface, so I can plug this mic into it.
Yeah.
If I want to make a portable studio.
Cool. Also, I know we probably should have said this like way earlier on to the podcast, but happy Chinese New Year to everyone that's celebrating.
Whoa! Happy Lunar New
Happy
Year.
Lunar Year
Get it
as
right.
well, yes. Regardless, lots of fireworks happening.
Too many.
So many still going. I think I wouldn't be
Still
surprised if
fucking
there's wouldn't be surprised if there's still more fireworks tonight. But yeah,
I pulled out my 2018 Year of the Dog hoodie to celebrate because that's my only Chinese New Year apparel.
I think we.
It's not even the right colors. It's black.
I think we kind of have the same hoodie, but mine is like gray.
It's from H&M, isn't it?
Yeah, the same
Yeah.
H&M hoodie.
Oh jeez.
Did we buy it at the same time?
It was around the same time, I think.
I mean, because like it makes sense if we bought it together,
Yeah.
or
probably.
it just turns out to like be a weird coincidence. But that's H&M, dude. Where else do you shop for clothes in Malaysia?
FOS,
Kana.
Uniqlo.
I know, but like at the time.
Sure.
But also like Uniqlo, I think is the best out of all of those in terms of cuts and quality.
Yeah.
But it's expensive.
Yeah, I mean, most
It
of my
is.
clothes now are from Uniqlo. My shirts, my t-shirts, everything's from Uniqlo.
Yeah, a lot of my stuff is from Uniqlo as well. I think majority of my clothes mix is from like Uniqlo, Padini, and
Oh, Padini's great.
and FOS.
I've never shopped at Padini.
Padini, their quality is good, but you have to hope you're walking into a good season for their clothes because sometimes they're all misses.
Yeah, that's the thing. Padini
But,
for me
their
has
cuts are nice.
Padini has really good pants and jeans usually, and also really good like collared t-shirts. So
Mm-hmm.
if you want to go into Padini, you get those things. But I mean, there's usually a lot of other stuff around, and depending on like what he said, like what's in season.
Makes sense.
I really don't like FOS.
I've
I'm
heard.
not sure if it's a me thing.
No, I've heard a lot of people don't like FOS. I mean, I kind of get it because FOS is like constantly on sale, and I feel like their clothes don't last as long in comparison to Padini and FOS. Padini and Uniqlo.
I don't match their body expectation. I'm too broad. So every time I got a piece of clothing from FOS, which is like twice because I stopped, right? You don't just keep going. But it's just so my short sleeve would start ending up like up here on my like shoulder. I'd be like, man,
Yeah,
after
you
the
kept
first
rolling
wash.
it up.
That's the only way to deal with it.
Yeah. By the
But,
way, his shoulders are so broad that he always has problems going through doors. It's a real problem.
Dude, my shoulders are so broad that when I was riding the train, I had to make a moral decision whether I was shoulder checking who was walking by me or not. Because like I can dodge people, but do I have to dodge everyone? When do people start dodging for me?
Damn.
Why is it always about everyone? Why is it never me?
Yeah. When will people
exactly.
make the room?
So
I want the room.
I
I want another.
decided to, if like they're similar to my age, 50-50. If they're older than me, I'll move, because I don't want to even test that. If they're younger than me, I'll shoulder check.
Shoulder check. Okay. All right. Well, yeah.
My man squaring up
I
on
mean, what do you
people in the
want?
LRT.
Yeah, so that's
what do you?
so that's
God.
that's clothing. That's clothing recommendations, I guess, from us. Squaring
Don't
up
forget
on the
Marks and
LRT.
Spencers.
Squaring up with someone on the LRT. Oh wait, I have a funny little story actually. So about a month ago, I had a dinner over in Subang, and I took public transport, right? Because of course it was gonna get jammed, and I mean public transport is gonna be filled anyways, but I get there faster than in a car.
Yeah.
So my mom dropped me off at like the Kelana Jaya station, and I hopped onto the train from there into SS15, right? And on the way there towards the Glen Mary's station, there was some sort of commotion in the back of my like train car, and it was just like some guy like shouting like obscenities and everything, and he was like, "What are you doing, you motherfucker?" And it was just like that, and over and over and over again, right?
Yo, my bad.
And yeah, and like
my bad, guys.
and like
I couldn't hold it
in like an accent and everything, and then everyone was just like either scared or telling them to like keep quiet and like chill. And then when we got to like the I think it was Glen Mary station or one of the stations before SS15, the doors like swung open and the guy did like a hit and run. It fucking knocked the dude onto the ground and punched him, I think, and then he ran for it. And then people were like panicking, running out the car and like call the police and everything. It was that was the first time I took the train in the past like how many years? Because usually I take like the the new one, the is it the MRT?
Yeah.
MRT.
Yeah. So it's been a while since I took the LRT, and that was my first experience on the LRT in a gap of 4 years, and someone got assaulted in my train car.
It's
Thanks,
slowly turning
Naturally.
Thanks, Malaysia.
It's slowly turning into New York.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
We're
That
gonna
is
start finding rats in the LRT.
no.
Like it's just gonna.
You can say that as much as you want, but we all know in a New York City like train station fight, no one runs.
Oh yeah, no
they
one
just
runs.
beat
It's
each
to the
other.
death.
They square up, dude. The train car will turn into like a side scroller like arena. It will turn into like a Mortal Kombat stage, and it's just moving.
I just thought about like Faris in that situation. He gets beaten, and his Patronus cat, like rat, just comes up in New York. He's like, "Don't worry, buddy, you can do it."
No.
Oh my god!
Oh my
Holy
God.
crap! You pick your fighter. It's this guy who's fucking Patronus rat. Oh man.
My God.
Jesus.
Jeez.
Now that's a nice segue. We can go into the Harry Potter stuff.
Yeah.
Harry Potter stuff?
I think we've done the Harry Potter stuff. No.
No, the controversy.
Oh, you want to do it this podcast?
Why not? Let's talk about it.
Do we
when it's
have-
happening?
Do we have time for that?
Sure.
Okay. I think I still want to return to it next week still.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think
mean, it's just an update on what's happening. I guess like
Sure.
a quick update, and then we
Sure.
move on.
so the Harry Potter podcast, not podcast, bro. The Harry
Damn.
Potter.
Me when Harry and Ron who talked about that car rolling
God.
when they were flying underneath the train.
They talked
That
about
was
the
crazy.
fight. Harry talks about the fight with the basilisk underneath the school. Damn. So the Harry Potter controversy that's happening right now, of course, is in regards to the newest game that's going to release, which is Hogwarts Legacy. Now, a lot of people have been hyped up for Hogwarts Legacy, of course, because evidently there's not a lot of like proper like magic games, like wizarding games, around on the market. There's a few that are good, and there's a few that are very anticipated. I know one of the anticipated like magic games that's going to come out is, I think, Witchbrook Academy, which is basically made from the people that made Stardew Valley, so it's in that style. So that's still in development right now, and you can still get updates on their Twitter. But back to Hogwarts Legacy, the big thing about Hogwarts Legacy at the moment is that it's tied to a very controversial figure, and that figure is no other than J.K. Rowling herself, because she has made some ridiculous statements before, and everyone has kind of like glossed over her writing in childhood, but then when you look back at it, it's kind of there's a lot of themes there with like a bit of racism, segregation, and like slavery, and there's a whole thing. It's such a deep topic that it can last the whole podcast. But in regards to Hogwarts Legacy, it's just that amount of like bad rep on Rowling, and all the movements with like the LGBTQ stuff as well has kind of split the audience for Hogwarts Legacy, right? There's a lot of people that are gonna buy Hogwarts Legacy regardless of like J.K. Rowling's views and political views and gender views and whatever else, right? Because they just want to play the game. Fair enough. But there's also quite the amount of people that aren't going to buy the game because they fear that the money is going to go into Rowling's pockets, and it's essentially just going to like fill up the pockets of like a person that's extremely racist or a transphobe and so on. And it's a mess because it's almost like there's no middle ground. Like there's very rarely like a middle ground opinion for some of these people. Like I've, and again, maybe it's just a Twitter thing, because like I barely see someone say like, oh yeah, you can get the game, and like, you know, not feel the fire for the politics, which is like the middle ground one, right? And it's like you're just taking the game, you are separating the art from the artist. That's the usual kind of case, right? But Twitter is currently either or. So it's like you buy the game, you're a transphobe, you're a racist. You don't buy the game, you are A-okay, all good in the hood with the LGBTQ people, and you miss out on Hogwarts Legacy and you can support other stuff. So it's, you know, I don't know. What's your opinion?
You know what? I just think it's I just really want to know who really cares. You know, it's kind of a wild like thing to say, but like, what if I just buy Hogwarts Legacy and I don't tell anybody? You know,
Which is probably gonna be the case. Do you understand how many people are like probably in like friend groups that are like doing this kind of discourse at the moment, and then they're just gonna secretly buy the game and then just launch it in like offline mode on Steam.
but I mean, I really think you gotta wonder if, you know, all the people that worked on this game, all the people that did this, that their families, etc. You know,
Correct. Yeah.
and then also the future of more, the possibility of more Harry Potter games, and you know, like, just to like have that all rely on the fact that you think this person is bad, is kind of unfair. It's like how it's exactly like how some people don't like Elon Musk, but they'll buy a Tesla, you know?
Yeah, because
Or like,
it plays into the whole like grouping up everyone into a certain category, even though like they could not even follow the politics in general for it. And I think that's also the thing people talk about as well. It's just like, I want to buy the game and support the developers.
Yeah, I mean, in my case, I'm definitely gonna buy the game, regardless of what's happening and what brand I'm gonna be put on.
Are you
Right.
saying? Are you saying that you're?
Yes. No,
let,
but
let him cook. Let him cook. Let him cook. Let him cook.
Hold up.
Let him cook. Let him cook. He wants to see the rat Patronuses exist. You know. Let him cook.
yes, I want my bird to save me, but no, but like for me, it doesn't matter, because I personally support freedom of speech, even if it can be hateful. It's still freedom of speech to me. Like you can say whatever you want, and it'll just be out there. People can not like you, but your work, as long as it doesn't directly reflect that, I'm fine with it. Like if Hogwarts Legacy is gonna be a game that's gonna, I don't know, exclude trans or like just shit on LGBT, then okay, I have a problem with it now, because
Yeah.
the art itself has an agenda,
Yeah, but
and I'm not okay with that itself.
yeah, but evidently, that shouldn't be the case. It should just be a game about wizarding.
Yeah,
And-
exactly.
And unless they do the whole like Dobby elf thing with the thingy, and you can go into the undertones and whatever of the slavery thing, you can kind of make a case for that, sure. And again,
I mean, that's pushing it.
it
Unless,
is
like,
it
the
is pushing
game-
it is pushing it, because it's like, yes, you can have a problem with it because the undertones of it are very, very clear cut in a way, but it's probably vague to some people. And the reason why it's vague to some people is because it's probably like within the theme, so it's thematic, right? Because it's like, it exists in the Harry Potter universe. But
yeah, exactly.
so it's a back and forth argument. It's like, oh, but then just because it exists in the Harry Potter universe doesn't make the whole thing about like the slavery of the elves thing kind of right. And it's like, I get it. I get it. I really do. Trust me. But it's just like, this is the theme of the game. This is where it's going. You gotta take it or leave it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as long as the game isn't telling me slavery is a good thing and like
Exactly.
drilling that into me, then I don't have a problem with it.
Exactly. So again, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard politics, and it's just down to the person playing the game and what they agree with and what they don't agree with,
Yeah.
and
I
how
mean,
they see things.
I guess to close it off, my standing is that I think the art and the artist should be separate unless the art itself has an agenda.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kanye West made Graduation, guys.
Oh boy. Okay.
Guys.
That's a whole different. I want to read up more on the Kanye stuff.
I need to
so,
as
so
well.
it's just
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm so kind of lost. Is he still named Ye?
Yes.
He legally changed his name to Ye.
Okay.
He is, yeah.
All right. Okay. Well.
Where he's in his Ye era, which is like just isn't bad. So like we can distinguish the part of his life where he was graduating. I don't know.
I miss the old Kanye.
Did I say he made Graduation?
I miss the old Kanye. The really
Dude.
good song Kanye.
I think my like last thought on that whole like J.K. Rowling thing is that it's just, for me, is a very like selfish point of view for me, but like it really would whatever happens, it really doesn't affect me because I'm not attached to Harry Potter like that. If they was thing was big, I watched all the movies. I read half of the books, not all of them, because well, I don't think my family ever owned the rest of them. I think up to like 4. I might be wrong, but it's just it's not for me. It's not that deep. It's really like after this, after the game comes out, the controversy will die. It always does.
Yeah, I've said a similar.
Same thing happened with Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, I've said a similar thing too, where it's like there's a very real chance that the game will come out, and the controversy dies along with it within the next 3 weeks of the game coming out, especially if the game's good.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. If the game is good, no one's gonna say shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
they're
thing.
not gonna say
If the
shit.
game's really good, and I've seen a little
They
bit of
let 'em
gameplay
cook.
for it, it looks pretty decent. Everyone's gonna be like, what's a game about magic?
Oh,
Good game.
Good game.
I won.
It's a game about magic.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I think my opinion is also around the same. Like, separate the art from the artist. Take the game as its own separate entity for the meantime, and play through the game, or like try it out.
While we're on like separating artists from art, what do you guys think about Rick and Morty? The state of Rick and Morty right now.
So,
Justin Roiland just got fired. For I believe alleged domestic abuse charges. I mean they're real, so it's not alleged, but like he pleaded not guilty, and I don't think there's proof. It happened in 2020 during COVID, so it's kind of wild.
That's really wild.
Yeah.
Because this is gonna affect him. Like, this is almost, well, it's not as bad, but like this reminds me of the whole what's his face situation.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah, the whole Johnny Depp situation. Yeah, this is gonna affect his entire career, even though it might not be true, right? It's
Right.
gonna affect his future career. It's already affecting his career now. Like, it's not necessarily fair, in my opinion. What's
Sure.
happening to him?
I hope the trial is public. I always love it when those trials are public.
Yeah.
I watched so much of the Johnny Depp trial.
Yeah, I watched
same.
I watched so much of
I
it,
kept
yeah.
up with it like every week.
I hope it's public, and I mean, if he's guilty, then he should,
That's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
go through all the things that they like. I don't know if it's jail or whatever the sentence is, but he deserves it. But if he's not guilty, then his future is kind of a little bit messed up. He has to work again. He has to find jobs again. He has to fix his entire like public perception
So
like of him.
Yeah, and it's like not even. it's not even a light thing to come back from, you know, like alleged domestic abuse or
No, it's not at all.
It's hard to come back into the industry with that kind of mark. I know like back when Guardians of the Galaxy kind of like there was all the talk about like James Gunn not coming back for it because of like his old tweets that were like very weirdly like racial. I think it was like it was either weirdly racial or it was like just like not it, you know, just like the tweets were just off. But it's like it was like from a very long time ago, and now people are still like he came back from it. The studio's got him back and everything for James Gunn, for like all the Guardians and stuff, and it's kind of blown over, and that's an easier thing to come back from because you have like shit you can show with your rep, regardless if it's tarnished, and kind of earn your way back. So Justin kind of has to do the same, assuming those charges aren't real.
Yeah,
They have to prove it in court. We'll see.
This is gonna be a long. I mean, I don't know how long this battle is gonna be, but it's gonna have financial. He's probably gonna go through financial problems a little bit here and there. You know, his public image is skewed right now.
I mean, we'll see about the financial problems, because they didn't name the alleged abused. I say alleged like I'm on his side. I just want to make it clear, I am not picking any sides.
It's just that there's really
I don't know anyone.
There's a lot of essentially there's a lot of buzzwords. There's a lot of like information flying around, but whether that information is real or not is very debatable. And until everything gets settled in the court of law, we won't know for sure.
Yeah, until everything's settled, or if there's proof, hard proof. You know, I'm not.
See, like I would understand if they like pause all of his projects. You know, like they put a stop to everything that he's doing. I would understand that, but taking him out of Rick and Morty and, you know, also messing with High on Life a little bit. Like I'm pretty sure the same thing with Hogwarts Legacy and like High on Life are happening as well.
Well, I mean, it's a bit late. I mean, like the timing's kind of weird, but we're like not. It's been, how long has High on Life been out? Maybe a month, maybe two.
Couple, yeah.
3. No, but it's not so hot off the heels, but it's still fresh.
It's still fresh. So, you know, a lot of people who might have bought it, now they won't buy it.
Shame. But they're gonna recast for, you know, the voices on Rick and Morty, and I really wonder, because the voices are so signature, like very audibly.
They have to get like someone that can do a really good impression of it, which I don't think they'll have too much trouble. But it's like if you're really if you have a keen ear, you probably could tell.
Yeah,
I think they found Morty. That was blessed by Justin Roiland before. Is that one guy that did The Boy Who Lives?
Yeah. No, I mean, this is what I mean by when I say it's unfair, because they're going through with the projects without him, and they're changing the actors, they're changing everything. Now the question is, he might be eligible. I'm not sure. I don't know law too well, but he might be eligible. Like after the whole court thing goes, and assuming he's not guilty, he could sue back. I'm not sure. Like sue the company for, hey, what the hell? Why did you do this to me?
I don't, even if like he did, like he is proven innocent, I don't think he would.
I don't think he would sue the
suing.
I don't think he would sue the company, like unless the company really like went full like excommunicado, like really really bad, right? Which you know has happened to several actors before, and like especially with like Disney and Johnny Depp stuff, right? Even then, I think if you have like some modicum of like business in your mind, you'd probably understand why they'd do it anyways. Like you have
maybe,
you
but it's
just,
still like
it's still fucked. Yes, it's still fucked.
Yeah, because he can still sue on, I think, on grounds of like putting his future into making his future problematic the same way. I forgot.
It's almost like a defamation case essentially.
Yeah, something like that.
But I think that, like, if you're looking at it from the studio's perspective, it's the right thing to do if you want to keep everyone else in a job.
Yeah.
It's the same way I feel about like those people. Is just because one person did one arguably really bad, like, is it fuck all the rest of the people that worked on this?
Right.
That's why they have to keep the train moving.
Right?
Yeah, that also makes sense. Yeah, that is
the,
also-
is
the
why I
studio
don't think
the
he'll
studio
sue.
itself has to stay neutral.
yeah, they have
That
to
is the case, because like if the studio doesn't stay neutral, the people working in that studio, regardless if they know about something, they were affected by that something, or they even advocated for whatever that something is, they get flack for it anyways. And the thing is that we won't know, because those guys are, to us, the majority of the public, faceless, like people, like we don't know them, but we know they're there, and they just kind of take in whatever public opinion gets like thrown at them. Look at the Blizzard thing, for example, right? With like their CEO and Bobby Kotick and everything. Like, we know he's a bad dude. He's a bad dude, and he gets a lot of money for it. And like,
God damn it.
and like everyone kind of like viewed the studio as bad because, of course, there was all the sexual like harassment cases, allegations, and everything that's still going. That even got revamped, by the way, because
Revamped.
oh yeah, like I think a month or two ago. So we already knew about like the sexual harassment cases, right?
Sure.
It literally got revamped because like there was another case filed on Blizzard again for the same
Jesus.
thing. And it was like within the same level. So it's just like, dude, are you sure these people are going through the right training? What's happening here, right? So it's like you have to know how attached the studio is to the person leading it, and how much of like a entity they can be once they don't have that main person leading it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, it really comes back to the whole art versus artist thing,
Yeah, exactly.
which I think is do you have any last things to say?
No, I just wanted to say that I understand again, like the studio, kicking him out and whatnot. But personally, I just think it's unfair. But I totally understand the reasoning behind, why they did it.
Faris?
Because it is like a fuck you in particular.
It is.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting fucked in particular.
We can talk about the mass layoffs.
Yeah, what about everyone getting fucked in particular?
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. I didn't even see that segment. I was gonna segue into the AI stuff, but yeah. Anyways, we'll segue into that. Actually, I think that's more topical. Man. Okay. Who wants to start this?
I mean, I can give a general overview.
Okay. Go for it.
All right. So from the end of 22 going into 23 until right now, there have been companies laying off a lot of people, like quite a lot. I think in total, it's almost reaching 50,000. So we can go through it like step by step. Like some of the bigger companies that are laying off, I can name them. Like Google laid off 6% almost. Amazon about the same, 5-6%. Microsoft laid off 6%, Twitter 50%, Meta.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, Meta laid off 13% of their company. And like these are the big names. There are a lot of smaller name companies. But I mean, you would still know them. Like for example, Spotify laid off 6%, Netflix, DoorDash, a lot of crypto companies, IBM, Snapchat, all these companies have like laid off quite like decent percentage of their workforce as well. Now we can go into the reasons behind this, or we can talk about the effect of Microsoft and the future of like gaming.
Well, I'll end it off with that. You go on with the effects first, because I think as a whole the effects matter more at the moment.
You mean the Microsoft, like the gaming side,
No,
or
no, no, just everyone else.
Okay,
Everyone
the
else.
reason. Okay, I mean, I don't necessarily know.
The reasons.
I don't necessarily know the effects that it's gonna have, but the reasons that at least they're saying publicly, from what I understand, is that during COVID, a lot of these tech companies got bloated because they just kept like the demand for online services was at a all-time high. So they employed a lot of people, and they had no way of actually being able to tell who's doing real work and who's not doing any like good work. And right now they need to lay off a lot of people because of it, because the demand has kind of went back to what it was before COVID. The other one is they're preparing for the recession that's going on right now. And also a lot of like some companies, this is not necessarily tech companies, but some companies are having supply chain problems because of the Ukraine war, Russia and Ukraine war.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are a lot of companies having supply chain problems. Fuel is going high, especially with Biden closing the what was it, the pumps in the US, right, the XL pump. And so, you know, fuel prices are going high, and those are kind of the main like reasons as to why, like they're saying publicly as to why this is happening.
They all make sense. They're all quite rational.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
all makes sense.
it all adds up. Not that the economy is dying. But here we are.
Yeah, I mean the economy is going through a really weird phase because the Fed, they monthly they used to print a lot of money, right? And I don't know when it started, but they kind of like slowed down and then they stopped, and now they're burning money. They're getting rid of US dollars as we speak, and it's in the billions, I think, like monthly. I don't know how much exactly they're burning, but so there's gonna be less dollars. Inflation is is going higher right now, which means the Fed has to increase the interest rates, which means the rich get extremely richer and the poor are getting hammered. Right, middle class and poor are just getting hammered, and that's where we are right now. I can give the effects on that on real estate because like that's the one thing that I read about. If you guys want me to, I can go into that.
Well, I mean, am I wrong in saying that? You know what? I'm about to say something really dumb. Why don't you just say what you're gonna say? I don't need to say it.
Well, the effect it has on real estate is the fact that because of the recession and dollars getting like reduced, almost every asset is going to come cheaper, right? And that's including real estate. So real estate is getting cheaper. That's very good for the rich people. That's why most of them are buying real estate right now. A lot of politicians, a lot of big companies, investment companies are investing a lot of money into real estate, into housing. And at the same time, it's definitely the price is gonna go higher later because of COVID and also the recession, supply problems. Building new houses has gone down. So finishing construction jobs is getting lower and lower, like in percentage. So there's less houses. There's a lot of big companies buying a lot of real estate right now, and interest rates are high. So the poor people or middle class people can't really get into it because of the mortgage rates and the interest rates. The rich people just buy most of the land. Now, what I don't necessarily know what this is going to do in the next couple of years for us, but it's probably going to be some sort of like problem.
Yeah, no, because like again, we're still, like you said, we're in this kind of like shifting phase with like the very tail end of the effects of the pandemic and also the recession. So right now, like you said, real estate is kind of like fluctuating in terms of price. However, cost of living is still kind of fucked at the moment.
Yeah, that's because there's less dollars, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They're burning the dollars, so there's less dollars.
So people with that capital can buy up, and people that are struggling with their capital are still just struggling.
Yeah, they struggle even harder.
Yeah.
And they can't buy a lot of this stuff. And the hope of the Federal Reserve is by burning the dollars, because people can't buy a lot of like daily necessities. Their hope is that companies are going to make them cheaper and prices are going to eventually go down. That's the plan. Now, I'm not sure exactly how effective it is. I'm not, I don't know economy too well, but that is their plan.
Okay.
And it's also kind of funny. Like, I didn't notice, but I was reading about it, and apparently, how they burn money is through bonds, like treasure bonds and stuff like. Yeah. Because I think what happens is usually when a bond matures, they roll it over, and then they move on. But because they don't roll it over anymore, so everyone who keeps buying it and selling it, the money goes back to the Federal Reserve, and they just burn it off. Pretty much. That's how they're burning the US dollar.
Interesting. Okay. Oof, man.
Oh man, that is. I was gonna say that the land was getting cheaper.
It's definitely getting cheaper, but it's harder for, like I said, middle and poor
Like,
people to get in.
Yeah.
Because interest rates are fucking high.
But you know what? I don't even have enough money for land, so it's like, does this really affect me? It does.
It absolutely does.
Like the just the day-to-day necessities will affect me, but it's crazy because in my area the minimum wage is still going up. So
Yeah,
it's
I know.
like-
It's a really weird thing. Like Walmart and a lot of places are still like bringing minimum wages up, and I don't understand how.
Well,
part,
it's
I
because
don't understand
these
it.
people need to. Well, they need more money to survive, and so they're gonna only work for whoever pays enough to survive.
Yeah, so maybe that is
I
the
guess
play.
so, yeah.
Maybe that is
Maybe.
the play that they're doing. Like they know about the layoffs happening, and it's not just big tech companies, right? It's other companies too.
Yeah, it's a
So-
lot of them.
So maybe they're capitalizing on the fact that, okay, you have a lot of people that suddenly just lost their jobs, and in the meantime they might need something to do, or they might need a little bit more income in their lives. Let's
Yeah,
try
I
and
mean-
prompt them over to our new malls
an
and
indus-
stores. Get them
Yeah, and
in.
one of the industries that's actually benefiting from this layoffs is going to be the construction, not construction. How do I say this? Like car companies, pretty much,
Oh,
because
like
they always need
manufacturing companies.
Yeah, manufacturing companies, because they always need more tech people in the in their workshops and
Sure,
whatnot
in the
to-
factories and everything.
Yeah, in the factories and
Okay.
everything. Yeah, so they're going to be benefiting from that at least.
That does make sense, especially with the way car manufacturers are kind of headed these days, where it's really tech based. All the cars, they're all hybrids. They have a lot of like
Yep,
more computer
it's-
systems in there. You would get tech people in your factories these days to handle that.
Yep,
Even
exactly.
if the people assembling the cars, even whichever car companies that still do certain parts like hand by hand, you would still need the tech people to kind of go through over the electronics and everything, and even the machines itself that fix the cars do need tech people.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
And because they're bringing in like actual like androids and whatnot into the car, like monitors and whatnot, a lot of debugging, a lot of like
it's
stuff like
it's
that.
familiar
tech people
systems.
need
It's
to get into.
it's overlap, so it works out
Yeah,
for them.
exactly. It works out for them. Yeah.
Speaking of like tech people and stuff, to go back onto the Microsoft one. So you initially said you didn't know what or who was laid off in Microsoft.
Yep, that is true. I did not look into that.
So this article is from Kotaku. It came out on January 20th, so about a week ago, 10 days ago. And it's big. It's big in terms of who got laid off. So on January 18th, Microsoft laid off 10,000 employees across the company. These layoffs included gaming studios such as 343 Industries, so that's Halo. The Coalition. I actually don't know who the Coalition are. I don't think I've heard of them. Let me just double check and see what they do. Gears. Okay, that's huge. So Coalition is Gears of War. And ZeniMax Media, which is, I think I've seen ZeniMax. Elder Scrolls, yeah. Elder Scrolls. And of course, they recently bought Bethesda Game Studios.
Oh, so Bethesda is also getting it. Okay.
And currently, 343 Industries just lost workers. with the current dip of reputation that's currently happening in Halo, that's not good, right?
Not good.
That's not good. Coalition, I mean, Gears has been nothing. We've had no word, I think, in terms of any sort of Gears content. So I think that's a bit more okay, I guess. Maybe again, it's still hard to say, right? For all you know, they are working on a secret Gears project we don't know about, or maybe something that I'm not informed of, and people just got fucked over regardless. ZeniMax Media with Elder Scrolls. I mean, Elder Scrolls is always going to keep going, to be honest. It's just going to keep existing, especially Elder Scrolls Online. So that's understandable if you're doing like just layoffs in general. Every year that's going to happen, I think, every few years. Bethesda, however, so the big names for these layoffs right now is 343 and Bethesda. 343 because Halo is essentially, you would say Halo is Microsoft's like flagship, right?
Right now, yeah.
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 It's
Yeah,
their mascot, dude.
It's their mascot, right? But
Yeah,
I think these days that's not the case anymore, right? Because Halo has kind of gone so far down the shithole, especially with the launch of Infinite, that it was hard to come back from. Infinite launched, and yeah, the multiplayer was free to play and everything. You had to buy the campaign, and the campaign was basically just footnotes from how Ubisoft developed their games, which is basically open world sandbox. Do whatever the fuck you want and go through the story. Now, I played through Infinite. I played through the campaign of Infinite, and I thought it was pretty okay story-wise. Like, nothing. There's really not much to be praised because they're trying to go into a deeper like threat with like the characters and stuff, and of course you have that whole Cortana thing. So it's a weird place, the story. So yeah, there's a lot of debate over the story. I thought it was kind of just okay, nothing spectacular.
Really?
Yeah, it was nothing spectacular. Like in terms of Halo, in terms of Halos that had like great stories, to me, I still think like, you know, Halo, like the older Halos had greater stories. Reach, ODST had spectacular stories to me, like campaigns.
That's fair. But I feel like this past Halo, I played through the story too. I thought the game experience was a bit better than okay, but I can agree with your okay. Because like after
it's okay, yeah, because it's like, okay, the way you play this Halo is evidently very different from the way you play regular Halo, right? You go through the campaign on a linear stretch, right? You have your tasks set for you. You have the hallways kind of guiding you and everything, and you're going forth and playing through. I'm gonna exclude Halo Combat Evolve from this because Halo Combat Evolve was, look, it's great. It's great, right? Combat Evolve is great. I'm not dissing it, but you can't tell me that the backtracking was good. You had to do so much backtracking in Combat Evolve.
It was probably good at the time.
It was probably good at the time, yeah. It made the game feel huge, right? But playing through it, I was like, oh my god, I have to go here, now I have to go back here, and I just saw a lot of the same things on the way back. It was Jesus Christ. So, and you know,
It's just dated.
Yeah, it's just dated. That's all it is. But for Infinite, your playstyle was you could do whatever the fuck you want, really, because you can fight the enemies whatever weapon you want. Of course, you know, choose whatever weapon you want. You can play it as wild as you want. You can use the grapple. Okay, the grapple mechanic was genius, by the way.
Yeah. They needed something. They needed something.
I will give props to the movement you can do in Halo Infinite with the grapples. You know, that's always fun. Ever since grappling was kind of like put into certain FPS games, like for example, like Titanfall 2, when they put in grappling in like the multiplayer. Oh, so much fun.
Yeah. Dude, once games figured out how to make you feel faster than the average human, that's when Halo realized they needed to get a bit more, because like, why are you this super soldier that can just do everything but you can't move fast?
Right? Yeah, and it's like in the books as well for Halo, or even
mean,
even in the lore, they tell you that these Spartans can move
These
like
guys are moving at
yeah, dude.
Mach 5 on ground.
Yeah,
on
exactly,
foot.
exactly. It's like you see a blur of like whatever colored armor they're wearing, and but like in real time when you're playing the game, it's like you can very clearly see them. So it's like how do you translate that over? You know, which is again, it's hard to translate over because one thing is very easy to imagine and just to get the feel of that spectacle by reading it. The other is to actually see it, which is harder to translate. So yeah, Infinite was pretty okay for me. It was nothing, because again, I've played so many Ubisoft games, right? Some of my first Ubisoft games were the Far Cry games, and that was what I was comparing Infinite to. You've thrown me into a sandbox. You want me to go clear out outposts so I can get better gear and vehicles. I'm playing a Ubisoft game. My way of traversal is whatever unique traversal mechanic you've given me for that specific game. For Far Cry 3, it was the wingsuit. For Far Cry 4, it was the helicopter. For Halo Infinite, it's the grappling hook. So, you know, it's like I was comparing it so much to Far Cry. And of course, Far Cry did it better because that's their forte. Right? That is their forte. Thank God Halo Infinite didn't have me climb up radio towers to unlock parts of the map, because I would have shot someone. I holy crap.
Yeah.
You still had to go around and explore the map itself, which is fun. Actually, what do you think of the map?
I thought it was smaller than I hoped it would be.
Right?
It was absolutely smaller than I thought it was going to be.
When they said open world and they gave us the view of the ring, I'm pretty sure everyone's like imagination went wild, right? It's like, oh my god, you're gonna give us the whole fucking ring? the ring. Like, granted, you're gonna segment parts of it, of course, to make, you know, like certain spaces more interesting and stuff, but you're gonna give us essentially the ring. And then all we got was just forest and forest.
It's not heavy forest, it's light forest.
It's light forest. It's
really
open
light
ground.
forest.
Dude, I felt like I was walking in like a, and you know, okay, of course, maybe you have walked there before, but I felt like I'm walking in Space Oregon.
Space Oregon. Dude.
Or Space Wyoming, bro.
That's how normal Ohio looks.
Dude, it's like Space Oregon or Space Wyoming. Maybe it's Space Wyoming. Dude. I don't know, dude. Man, it was just like, oh, it's a lot of forest, and like the only time it got interesting was when you went into like the underground areas or the bases, because it was a change of view. But even then, it happened like 4 or 5 more times. And it only really got interesting when you went underground into the ring systems itself. But that was more like old school kind of Halo set design, you know? So it's like something you're kind of used to. And it's just flashier and shinier because of the engine. Which I should say, the engine, it's beautiful when it works great when it's indoors. When you're actually traversing outdoors, you take such a dip in your performance. It's ridiculous. I at the time I was running my GTX 1080 on medium graphics, and it was struggling here and there in some open world spaces. And I've seen rigs with like i9s and 3070s, 3080 Ti's work just fine indoors. You know, you're at your like FPS cap of like 144 hertz, 240 hertz, or whatever it is, to your monitor's like refresh rate and everything. And then the moment they open the doors after that first segment of the game, it just dipped. It'll just dip.
Dude, let me tell you, honestly, just the experience of the open world, it's whatever for me. But for me, what I care about is always the story itself. when I play a single player game.
Sure.
I very rarely play single player games.
Yeah.
Like one of the last single player games I played, and this is gonna sound kind of sad, was the Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim. All right,
God, we're back there again.
pirated, allegedly, on my laptop
A
long time ago, and
to
thing is, it's not-
disclose, he's bought every single version of Skyrim afterwards.
yeah, you got the Switch version, not the VR version, but every
Except
other
the VR
version.
version.
Legendary edition.
You get Skyrim. You just get like the legacy version of Skyrim. You get all the updated versions of Skyrim for free.
Is that true?
I got the legacy version of Skyrim, and then I got the updated version of Skyrim for free. Like, cause remember Skyrim was on a 32-bit engine, right?
Yeah.
And then they updated it to a 64-bit engine. That was for free. I think the 10th anniversary they sold it as like a separate thing, but like, that's just thanks, Todd. Go on.
All I can say is like, what matters to me is if the story is
Ooh. We just lost him. We just lost him. We just lost him. Holy.
We just lost him to the fucking void. What do we do now?
We wait for a bit. I think his internet
Play
cut.
some elevator music or something.
Yeah. Don't worry. We'll do a cut. We'll do a cut. We'll be right back. Hello. While Faris tries to join back into the call, I figured I'd use this little intermission to tell you guys to drop a like, subscribe, and comment on your favorite parts of the episode to help grow out the channel. And for our audio-only listeners, feel free to share around the links to our podcast and our socials to invite more listeners to gossip along with us. Anyways, thanks for your time. I love you all, and we'll jump right back into where we left off. You good?
Alright, so we'll
We good?
fix that in post.
Yeah, we'll fix that in
obviously.
post. Okay.
But,
Alright, he's
where did I
back. He's
leave?
back.
Where did I leave off?
You were talking about like the Skyrim. You were talking about Skyrim and like how you're comparing the single player. You're playing the single player.
So, all right. Technical fucking difficulties grind my gears.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what grinds my gears more than technical difficulties? It's when I play a single player game and I don't care about it and I've wasted all that time. 'Cause I don't have much time, right?
Mm.
But that's why it's important for me to care about. It's important for a single player game to me that the story, if it's a story driven game, makes me care about the characters a lot. Just because, like, yeah, I know that if it made me emotionally attached to like certain characters, it's written well.
Yeah.
Even though there might be plot holes here and there of why this guy did that, if I care about a character, because I don't attach to characters easily, but in Halo, they didn't name her, but like, they did the AI really well.
Mm. Yeah.
Her character was so.
I do agree. I do agree
yeah,
that her
solid.
character was
And
good.
I think it's, had God of War not come out previously, this would have been one of the strongest duo of like characters that are like engaged in such a way. Like the other one that I think of is like The Last of Us. You
Okay.
know, those the two main characters. You know, when you care about them, it's like
Yeah. So
They
to
do a
have
really
like
good
very
job.
strong duo characters. Okay, yeah, all right. But yeah, Halo, not to get super sidetracked and everything, it was a struggling game at launch, and it continued to be a struggling game past development. The multiplayer had a pretty good thing going for it for a few months, and then it died out. So did the esports scene. And they did update the game a few months ago and to added stuff, like especially Forge. That was the big thing, was that Forge didn't come out with the game. Which Forge is basically the map maker and everything, which is huge, right? If you're gonna have like a multiplayer game, you have a custom map maker, especially Halo is known for that. And to not have it at launch was ridiculous. To not have co-op campaign at launch was ridiculous. So there was a lot of missing features. And Infinite was in development for a very long time. We've heard about this. It was there. We saw the first trailer for Infinite, I think, before the pandemic even happened. And then past the pandemic, that's when it got delayed, I think, by a few months to a year, and then it launched. So Microsoft laying off these employees as well, especially since some of them are senior developers, that doesn't help Halo whatsoever. No, it will screw over 343, and I don't know how they will come back to that. On the topic of Skyrim, that's going to be connected to Bethesda. Now, as of right now, Bethesda's biggest project, well, two of their biggest project, but one is already shown its cards. We've already seen gameplay. We've already seen the trailers. Is Starfield. So, Starfield losing an amount of their staff, especially senior talent, this early on, before the game even launches, which is supposed to be this year, by the way, should either tell you that the game is kind of in a finished state and they're just debugging and they're trying to make it go gold, getting it ready to release.
Did you say Bethesda and debugging in the same paragraph?
I know, kind of crazy, right?
Disgusting.
It's a crazy concept.
Crazy.
But that's what we're supposed to expect, right? That the game is supposed to be relatively debugged by the time of its launch. And for them to lose staff like that before the games even launch is rough. So unless the staff already have finished their jobs or weren't as important and they can have people fill in their roles, it'll be fine, I think. But just in general, to lose staff on a game that's pretty hyped up at the moment and people want to see what it is, hard to say, really hard to say where that's gonna go. And a lot of these would fall under AAA as well, and AAA, like we mentioned in the last episode, has really been struggling. This is just another instance of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they've been struggling a lot, and especially since the time of development and how long it takes for a console to come out, right? So all the AAA games are going to be for the next console.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so there was a tweet that I found, and I wanted to bring this up to everyone. So this is a tweet from Jason Schreier. Shout out my boy Jason. So his tweet was, fun fact, video game production cycles have gotten so long that if a big budget game studio started working on a brand new project today, it would likely be for the PlayStation 6. That is ridiculous.
I swear
Think
PlayStation
about
5 just came out.
Think about the amount of money that's in this industry at the moment, right? Let's go back to Microsoft for a bit, right? Let's just put this into perspective on how much money this is going to take. Microsoft recently bought out Activision Blizzard, right? Can someone guess the figure they bought them for?
Wait, did they officially get it through and stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna say in the 100 millions somewhere.
Let's see. Some of the people who lost their jobs include senior talent recorded a year after the publisher scourged out the pocket change to purchase Activision Blizzard for something. Yeah. So unless that wording is wrong and they didn't get it, but let's just say they got it, because the figure is there. The figure is sitting there. How much money did you think Activision Blizzard costs Microsoft?
Is it in the at least 1 billion?
Ali?
I don't know. I'm saying high 100 millions, close to billion, maybe.
70 billion.
Oh fuck! Jesus, that hurts.
Again, 1% can change our lives, guys.
Fuck.
I just thought I should say it.
So
Jesus, dude.
So again, I don't think that deal has been publicly finalized or anything because there's still a lot of like kickback here and there. But let's just say, I think that has gone through. I'm very sure that's gone through. I think the thing that didn't go through was the COD stuff with Microsoft because they wanted to buy out COD as well because they're taking over Activision Blizzard. Activision has rights to COD, and if Microsoft buys COD, then COD is going to be exclusive to PC and Xbox only for a set time. PlayStation won't have
Probably
it.
a long set time.
Yeah, and Sony doesn't want that to happen because if COD doesn't release on PlayStation, you're losing out a lot from your player base. So yeah. Anyways, that is a lot of money in the industry. So think about that, considering that like if any new studio wanted to start up a game, it's probably for the next gen.
Yeah, I mean, this probably like the cycles might match into something like every new gen console is going to have like a set of games, right, that comes with it, AAA games, and then that's it. You can't expect anything more, right? So you're just like, okay, next console, next set of AAA games.
Yeah.
So they almost like come out as packages. Like you buy this console, here are these AAA games that are going to come out for it, right?
They would have to make the sale of like the next consoles and everything really convincing, because it's like, yeah, you're gonna get something that's super powerful to run these next gen games, right? But what if you run into the problem with the PlayStation 5 again, where the moment the PlayStation 5 dropped, there's quite a lot of people that didn't get the PlayStation 5 because it was just limited and it was just hard to get, What if you run into that problem? Now,
was it the limitation? Was it because of like the chip shortage? I don't remember exactly why that happened.
I believe it was because of the chip shortage. That would make sense. That would make the most sense.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm not sure if that's what it was.
So, let's just assume it was because of the chip shortage, right? It still caused limitations for the PlayStation 5 to be sold at a mass rate.
Yes,
so
yes.
it was pretty limited, and limited. Even the word limited here is so like weird, right? Because they sold a lot of PlayStation like consoles. I think, what was it? Was it a few million units?
Yeah, a good amount of millions.
Yeah, so that's still under limited, which is kind of crazy to me. But yeah, gaming's getting bigger, both in terms of how many people are playing and how much money is getting sunk into the industry, both on the development side and both on the marketing side. It's such a valuable industry at the moment. And
it's also interesting, right? Because I think Microsoft invested a good like a couple of billions as well into ChatGPT Maker, right? Going into the AI stuff.
yes,
Like they're trying to also get into that.
Yeah.
Which is kind of confusing because I'm not sure what that's gonna do for them.
We will see, because that is gonna be a big one as well, assuming the AI thing takes off. But
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, and talking about like how valuable the industry is in the first place, it really worries a lot of people now. Like once you have that figure kind of locked into your head, you realize how dangerous it is for employees to get laid off like this in the masses for a lot of like game studios. And you realize how dangerous it is when certain companies start to do reformations like Ubisoft because they have canceled a total of like 6 projects now. And we were making a small conversation about Skull and Bones last episode. Literally 3 to 4 days after that episode came out, an article came out from IGN, and it says here that Ubisoft has canceled 3 unannounced games and have delayed Skull and Bones for, I shit you not, the 6th time.
This game is never gonna fucking come out.
Dude,
I
this
swear.
game is not coming out, man. Like,
Next article you read, Skull and Bones is going onto a new engine, so it's gonna take 4 more years. great.
Bro, Sea of Thieves 2 is gonna come out before Skull and Bones comes out.
Yeah,
The hell
yeah,
is this?
yeah. So
Maybe
like,
that's their plan.
I don't know. Like
To
I
compete
really
with the next one.
I really don't know. So okay. Here is I'm gonna quote some of the stuff in this article from IGN. Ubisoft has announced that it has, for the sixth time, delayed Skull and Bones as well as cancelled 3 more unannounced games amid major challenges. Major challenges is quoted in the industry. The underperformance of Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope and Just Dance 2023, and an upcoming restructuring. In a press release today, Ubisoft outlined a new strategy for the remainder of its fiscal year as well as lowered expectations for the last fiscal quarter. Ubisoft explains the move as a result of company facing major challenges as the industry continues to shift towards mega brands and long-lasting titles that can reach players across the globe, across platforms and business models. So essentially, we're talking about live service models, right?
Yeah.
This is where
naturally.
gaming is gone over the past few years, and some games can do it right, and a lot of games can do it very, very wrong, right? They want to make the games more accessible, so the games go free to play. Destiny went free to play. Overwatch went free to play. So many other games went free to play. But their monetization systems become the battle pass, because you can't do the loot box stuff anymore, right? You can't do your gambling microtransaction stuff anymore. But they'll still fill the game with microtransactions. That's just how it's going to work if it's a free to play game.
Yeah.
So I really don't like where we've kind of gone with like live service models and stuff, because I feel like there's a few games out there that really don't need that service model, you know? It's just, they're better off being what it is. Like just a game that you can play for an X amount of hours and then you can just drop it.
It is definitely concerning, because now you're going to wait like 5 years for a game and it comes out and it's free, and God knows how much of it is going to be in microtransactions or how much of the content you have to pay for.
Mm-hmm.
Like in DLC like wise or something like that.
So continuing on, Ubisoft notes its goal has been to build large overarching global brands. The release adds that games from this investment phase have yet to be released, while our recent launches have not performed as well as expected. Specifically, the press release later calls out Mario as underperforming in the final weeks of 2022 and early January despite an ambitious marketing plan. Just Dance 2023, of course, underperformed as well. And in response to these issues, Ubisoft delayed Skull and Bones for the 6th time and is also cancelling 3 unannounced projects on top of the 4 it already cancelled last year. And just so you guys know, right? Sorry, this is just for my Splinter Cell fans out there. That was a Splinter Cell project that got cancelled, but it wasn't like a Splinter Cell game, right? Splinter Cell is in this weird limbo. Like its IP is in this weird limbo where it's getting attached to everything else, but it isn't its own thing anymore. Splinter Cell stopped and died at Splinter Cell Blacklist, right? And to some people, they would say even before Blacklist, Splinter Cell already died at Conviction, because that was it. Like Splinter Cell peaked at Conviction, that was it. Sure, right? But it's the fact that like every time we get Splinter Cell content or Splinter Cell teases, it's always in the form of like DLC, right? So it's like we had Sam Fisher show up in Ghost Recon Wildlands, I think, as like a part of the DLC. And then we have like all these other like nods to Splinter Cell and Siege in Breakpoint and everything. Breakpoint was one of the things that also got cancelled. Not the game itself getting cancelled. I think Breakpoint has already stopped development at this point. But
Yeah.
One of the things that Ghost Recon wanted to do was that they wanted to enter the Battle Royale market. Now, I don't know if anyone remembered this, but Ghost Recon Breakpoint had its own like standalone multiplayer mode where it was going to do its whole like Battle Royale thing. Of course, it failed because it was very stale. And it played it played as like a weird amalgamation of like PUBG and Fortnite, because you had I understand the face you made when I say Fortnite. So the reason why is because like it plays like PUBG because you know Ghost Recon is over the shoulder third person. When you aim down sights, you go straight into first person, right?
Yeah.
It plays like Fortnite because you have certain base building abilities. I believe that's what I saw back in some of the beta footage, was that you could build up like some walls essentially. It was like barracks, you know? But it was like maybe like a certain class could do it or something like that. But they wanted to play around with that and like what Breakpoint could do. It wasn't received very well. I think the multiplayer aspect was received pretty okay. Like they had like a 4v4 mode. I remember they had I think like a 4v4 mode. I think that was received very well. Because the 4v4 mode wasn't like a straight away like 4v4 deathmatch kind of thing. They place you into the map and the map is pretty big. And you ended up as like these team of like 4 ghosts versus another team of 4 ghosts. And the gameplay can be very fast once you start to move in, but it can be very slow and you start hunting each other from the distance, which is pretty cool. But evidently got cancelled as well. And then Skull and Bones specifically, the new target looks to be early 2023 or 24.
Oh my god.
Assuming this means the fiscal year.
God.
So the soonest we'll see Skull and Bones now will be April of 2023. And maybe as late to December. Ubisoft is also depreciating 500 million euros of research and development on upcoming premium and free-to-play games. And the games are cancelling. And it's looking to both focus on fewer games going forward and potentially restructure and reduce costs in the coming year. It's reduced its net bookings target for the quarter ending in December to 725 million euros from its previous target of 830 million euros. During an emergency investor call, the news worried the investors and stuff, and they questioned what Ubisoft had left, what all the delays and cancellations and stuff. They reassured that for the next fiscal year, the one that starts in April, Ubisoft has Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, which is already delayed once, and Assassin's Creed Mirage, which was revealed last year. And then there's another premium unannounced game, including a large one, that's not noted. So we don't know what that's gonna be. That might be I believe Star Wars was supposed to be the next one, like because EA lost the full rights to making Star Wars games, like they lost the license.
Right.
After the whole like Star Wars Battlefront 2 loot box controversy, Disney like pulled out. I think Ubisoft was supposed to handle like a Star Wars games. So I don't know if that's one of the canceled projects. If it is, that's a shame. But if that is the next large project they're talking about, then that should be huge. And they cannot fuck that up. Fingers crossed. Yeah. Fingers crossed they don't fuck that up. So yeah, that's the worrying state of gaming in terms of financials and restructurings and big AAA companies. So at the moment, I think everyone is in the same boat of just like scoffing at like whatever AAA games come out, either because the games are bad or because there's some sort of controversy tied to it. And then we'll all go back to our usual games, our Dotas, our Valos, our CSGOs, our TFTs. We'll go back to our usual games, and then maybe pick up an indie game here and there.
I just wanted something more this year.
Who knows, man? Like we.
Don't talk to me.
There's supposed to be more. There's supposed to be more. And oh, by the way, Forspoken, Ali.
It was what I thought it would be, which is a shame.
I mean, okay, look, the dialogue for Forspoken is cheesy as all hell, right?
Yup.
Like, oh my god, I have magic. What the frick? I can do magic? Oh my god. Like, it's like Marvel dialogue.
Yeah.
It's worse than Marvel dialogue.
It's okay, it's late Marvel dialogue.
It's just so... It's like a kid's game. Forspoken's like a kid's game, dude.
I guess so.
What
but
was their demographic?
I don't know. But from what I've heard, the combat and the magic systems itself are pretty they're pretty decent. Like they're not just passable, but they're good. They're like good to play. But it's just that the whole concept and everything around Forspoken is just a bit difficult for people to kind of like, which I get, with that kind of dialogue.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to get in. Ah, shit. I hit my table.
No.
My
Is
knee.
your table okay?
Don't worry about my table. Anyway,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, right. It's for me, it's kind of hard to get in to Forspoken, especially because of the dialogue and also like the gameplay, the magic, and everything. It looks okay, but I just have a feeling that it gets repetitive. Like, well, you do it for 20 hours, and then after that, it's like,
That's the danger.
how much enjoyment are you gonna get out of it?
That's the danger of the games these days. Is the danger of a lot of these games like these days is that your repetition is boring
Yep.
when you're supposed to make that part of the game exciting. Like, there's a certain way, of course repetition eventually is going to get boring, right? You can only farm so many parts in Warframe before you get bored. You can only farm so many different variations of guns in Borderlands before you get completely bored and you find like your god roll. You can only farm so many times in Destiny before you finally get your god roll, and then the next season launches and there's a new god roll gun, and it's just like time again it's repetition will always be the killer of like whatever game you're playing, but how much you can take of it and how much the developers can actually play around with the concept of its repetition is a whole different thing.
No, I mean, like, a game that has a lot of repetition and I love playing it is like Monster Hunter, right? They did that very well, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like they did the repetition just the right amount for you to spend like maybe 3 hours and to farm something, and then you get it, and then now you have access to exciting new stuff, right? So it's like portioned out in Monster Hunter. You do your repetition part, the farming part in portions, and then there's like exciting stuff in the middle every 4 hours. You can do something new and fun, right?
Yeah.
That's fun for me. That's like great. I play all the Borderlands games and I could never get behind like farming for a gun because it doesn't necessarily open up new pathways. It doesn't necessarily do anything for me. I just played them because the story, in my opinion, was great and I just loved the combat. Right? It was just the creativity that kept me going. Not, I didn't spend a lot of time farming.
Yeah.
You want to know something for me about Warframe? I really tried to love Warframe, but I'm just not a grindy gamer. I don't know if it's just that I really don't like the fact that I'm not to say wasting time, but using my time for that, or if I just I'm really anti repetition, like easy repetition, because I'm on the same boat with you. I enjoy Monster Hunter, but I enjoy Monster Hunter for a different reason. It's just that when you do the same thing, it's not always a breeze in Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
There's difficulty. It scales.
Monster Hunter acts because of the difficulty. Monster Hunter has its kind of like it brings the same feeling of like going into like a multiplayer game, right? Like, yeah, someone could say that like CS:GO and Valorant are boring because it's the same maps, the same guns, but of course the way you approach a fight, the way the fight goes is going to be different every time, because the enemy's going to fuck up, or you're going to fuck up, or they're going to do well, or you're going to do well, and there's going to be just like 100 other ways a fight can go down. Just in that one day.
For Warframe, dude, I don't know if there's the movement speed or whatever, but I always got headaches whenever I played it.
Yeah,
over the period, and like once I pass 40 minutes, I just
motion sickness.
It might just be movement, but also Warframe, right? Like in a stark comparison, there are times when I personally play Warframe and I'm farming for something, right? And I'll change out my weapons and everything just to have a little bit more fun. Like, I'll change out my rifles to shotguns. I'll use some sort of like really weird out of the meta shotgun with like a ribbon on it, just so it's just fun, right? But after a while, you know, the whatever you're trying to farm for is just not dropping. So you'll go back to the usual. You equip your OP shit. You equip the warframe that does the job most efficiently. Like if you're doing a spy run, you'll equip a warframe that can speed through everything. If you're doing some sort of extermination, you'll equip the warframe that can do the most AoE, right? And it will just become repetition until you get that item, and that's when your mind just turns to mush, because you are just keyboard spamming.
Yeah. I think I used to enjoy games where you would make your own fun a lot more. Namely Minecraft. I used to enjoy games where you would be in charge of making it fun for yourself, but now I don't. And I don't know why. I've just grown out of it, because like maybe I'm getting old. I don't know.
No, I mean, for me, when it comes to specifically Minecraft, it becomes again the problem of repetition. Like we've started hundreds of worlds and we've done the mining hundreds and millions of times, right? I just can't go through it anymore.
Yeah.
Like personally,
Yeah.
Like I really like building stuff. I really like making like this giant house, this amazing like structure in Minecraft. That's fun. I can sit there and build something for hours. But going into the mine, going to this like weird biome or something just to grab a certain material is just that part has gotten too repetitive for me.
I think
over all the years.
I think it's also because like, okay, Minecraft has added a lot of stuff for the gameplay that happens in between Minecraft, right? But your end goal,
still
no pun intended, your end goal is still very much the same. You know, everyone will have to go to the Nether, and then once they go to the Nether, everyone will have to find shit to go to the end, and then you're killing that Ender Dragon, and then once you kill the Ender Dragon, you're gonna go find your what's that thing called again? The cape that makes you fly.
Oh, the Elytra.
The Elytra,
yeah.
right? That's the kind of like new end game objective, right? So they need to add, like, if they wanted more repetition to be handled like with joy towards the end of the game, that's probably where they could probably focus on, because right now there's a lot of stuff in between that, right? Like your starting point is the same. You're gonna start out in the world, you're gonna try and survive the next few days, right? And then everything in between is your adventure in Minecraft. And of course, you know, that's like enjoy the journey kind of stuff, you know, like how you mine, how you get into certain like situations, how you build certain things. If you're really like that kind of player, this part of the game is all that matters, right? But once you really think about closing out the game, there's really not that much left. And then everything before kind of just feels wasted sometimes. It's like,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I don't know why they added netherite. It's cool, but you don't need netherite to finish the game. You don't even need diamonds to finish the game.
Just need a bed and a dream.
You just need 10 beds and dream in your server.
Yeah.
No, but like for me, the fact that they had diamond weapons, diamond armor, and that was enough to beat the Wither, beat the Ender Dragon. Sorry for the spoilers, guys. I know you guys didn't finish the game.
Whoa, dude! What there's an dragon.
A dragon?
I just if you could do it with these, why would you add more tools to do the same thing? Sure, it adds maneuverability, but the world threat's the same.
That's why I say, like, expand on that, you know, like sure, maybe you can get netherite before the fight with the Ender Dragon, but then maybe like build off, and again, that's like I feel like that's almost like a band-aid solution now that I think about it, but like you build some sort of encounter where the netherite is like the most useful, Not needed, of course, because you still need to leave it open for players to do whatever they want and do the encounter however they want. But it's like build something for the netherite maybe, but then it starts to become a band-aid solution, and it's
exactly.
like and it's almost like following the Souls kind of like philosophy of like boss fights. It's like all right, now you have this thing, I can go fight this guy a certain way, or you can try any other way, but it might get you killed more.
Let me tell you, they have the content. They already, like, if you look at Minecraft Dungeons, I have it. I didn't play it that much, honestly.
I was really hoping,
but
for it
I've
to
been
be
looking
more.
at pictures lately, and I sort of want to play it again. But there's a lot. There's plenty of good like mobs that you can put in from Minecraft Dungeons.
I think for Minecraft Dungeons kind of side, when I saw what Minecraft Dungeons was, I was pretty excited. I still don't have the game, but like I got pretty excited. And I think what I expected, which was really a reach now that I think about it, what I expected from Minecraft Dungeons was essentially what I expected to come out. Like I expected the amount of content in Minecraft Dungeons to be equivalent to something like Diablo.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh man.
Diablo, or not, like Diablo and max, right? Diablo maximum. Maybe something like what was that game called? What is that game? Oh, fuck. Div? Is it Div?
I haven't heard of that one.
I have not heard of it.
It's oh, that's annoying me. Hang on. It's in my library. I'm just gonna scroll really quick. Give me a second. I'm just gonna check what it was. Divinity.
Divinity.
I kind of expected maybe like something like Divinity, like from it, at least like halfway through it. So definitely not the case. It was very light. It was very like, it was so light RPG.
It was for casuals. They built it for casuals, and that's why I didn't immediately cling onto it. But every day that passes, I get closer to being a casual gamer.
Dude, don't you feel like a lot of games these days, when they cater to casuals, and that's not to say that's like a really, really bad thing, but like when they cater to casuals, of course not everyone has the time to grind a game, like we said earlier, right? Or not everyone has the mental capacity to go through it over and over again. But when you cater the game to casuals, I think even the casuals these days kind of realize like there's so much more you could have done. Like Minecraft Dungeons especially, and like you look at like Overwatch 2, right? It's like there's so much more they could have done. But you made the game more casual. And it's just kind of lost its flair. It's lost its technical flair.
Yeah, we can go into all these games, but the problems will more or less be the same, I think, for most of them.
Yeah. So
when it comes to like overall, right?
Maybe it's just like an innovation issue, maybe, we are really hitting that point where original really doesn't exist anymore, and it's just like concepts, sub-concepts.
Yeah, I think that's why, like, for me, I've ventured a lot into indie games a lot more, because they can be a lot more original, at least with concepts. Like, the gameplay itself might not be that great, but at least the concept is original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
that's why I've like ventured into it.
Like Pyre was great, and what is it? Bastion was great. Like
Outer Wilds was great.
Outer Wilds was disgustingly good.
Yeah, it was amazing. Now, while we're talking about games and we're reaching the 2-hour mark almost,
we
should do
probably start
our recommendations and wrap it up.
Oh yeah, we can wrap it up. Right. So who wants to start?
All right, I can go first. So
go ahead.
For my recommended game of the week or month, I don't know. My recommended game is Atrio: The Dark Wild. I played this game. It's much better than I thought. It's a little clanky here and there. It's an indie game, but it is very enjoyable.
Okay.
It's the automation game, right?
Yeah. It's automation, but it's like you use the wilderness in a way to make the automation. It's very like creative in that sense, but they messed up in a little, like one part in my opinion, because the game isn't necessarily supposed to be like Minecraft dungeons or something like where there's supposed to be action, but they put that in the game and it feels very clanky and out of place. But that's like the only problem I had with the game.
So it kind of like has beats of like Satisfactory and Factorio style.
Yes, a lot of it. It has a lot of
Okay.
it, but it's done in a very unique way, which is why I enjoy it.
All right.
Okay.
Anas?
So I was gonna recommend like this one game, like earlier, like when we were choosing our games to recommend. But I think I want to give a really different game out that people should play. And I haven't played this yet, but I've seen a lot of it and I've seen the development cycle, and I trust the people that make this game because it's made from Obsidian Entertainment, the people that originally made Fallout and stuff, you know, before like Bethesda took over. And that game is called Pentiment.
Pentiment.
Yes.
I know that title.
You know that title? Right. So Pentiment is basically like a murder mystery game from what I've heard, right? Like that's the majority of like the storyline for like Pentiment. But the style of Pentiment is so beautiful, because the style of Pentiment is like, so you ever see like those old kind of like medieval like paintings or like renditions?
Yeah, it's exactly that.
It's exactly that, but it's like in motion. And this and knowing Obsidian makes really good like text dialogue. So you already know the story for Pentiment is going to be really strong, especially the people that handled the game.
Why does this game look like Adventure Quest, my guys?
But yeah, so I'm gonna recommend Pentiment. Pick it up. I don't know if it's on sale at the moment on Steam, because there is a sale currently going on Steam, but I don't think it's on sale yet. But definitely worth the purchase, I feel, because it is a very, very good narrative game from what I've heard. Even some of the stuff that I've heard from the developers, like what they implemented into like the characters and like how they kind of like react to the world around them and how you as a player can affect everything. It's great. I think it's good. It's a good single player game.
Okay. All right. Not bad. Now, I think I got the best game on this recommendation list for many reasons.
Swear to God, if he says Elder Scrolls.
I'm not saying Elder Scrolls this week.
This week.
But let me tell you, this is a great game because it's a lot better than the game that came before it. It's former. It's a lot more entertaining, and then also it echoes a lot of beats from a lot of American childhoods and Japanese childhoods. And let me tell you, it's also free to play, and it's
really
just
stretching
it's so fulfilling to me to announce that my game, this podcast. Hold on, let me double check its full name.
Oh my God.
No.
All right, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel.
Oh my
All right?
God. I totally forgot you picked Yu-Gi-Oh!
Fucking hell.
I totally forgot.
You should trust me.
I feel like we
so
won't even remember the
reminiscent.
games you pick.
It's so goddamn reminiscent of how I used to play. So this is why I decided
White Dragon.
in the past 3 weeks, I've decided to sink in a total of 18 minutes inside of it. Regardless of that, play it. All right? If you like Yu-Gi-Oh, you'll like this one.
But did you
At least for the first 18 minutes.
Yeah, but did you enjoy your first 18 minutes?
I fucking loved it, dude.
Okay, so at least
It was exactly
you're
like I was
guaranteed.
playing.
You're
Yeah.
guaranteed enjoyment for like 18 minutes.
18
if anything.
I use Pot of Greed to use Pot of Greed, all right? You guys don't know me like that.
God. All right. Okay. God damn.
Oh, man.
Alright, let's just move on from that, whatever the fuck that was.
It was great.
Song of the
Song of the
episode.
week. Song of the week for us.
Song of the pod.
Song of the
pod.
Okay.
Sod.
I'll go this time. So the song that I picked for this week is a song. The title is called Doppelganger, and this is a collab of like 3 artists. It's from Lissom. So Lissom is spelled Lissom. For people watching on YouTube, you'll see the songs pop up and everything. But for our audio listeners, the song is called Doppelganger, and it's from an artist called Lissom, Lissom, in collaboration with Julian Markle and Low Swimmer. So it's a very good song. It's kind of like a, those like aesthetic like films, kind of like shot in like 35 millimeter, and it's like always overlooking like some sort of like sunset and like grassy kind of. It's like that kind of indie kind of feel. That's the feel that song gives. So it's a very sunsetty kind of song, and I really love it. It's a very good vibe.
Okay.
All right, solid.
Ali?
Oh, mine. All right. My song is gonna be "Nothing Lasts Forever" by Tokyo's Revenge. It's it reminds me a lot of X. That's how you can kind of see it as, I guess. That's all I have to say.
Okay. All right.
Well, okay. That was fast. That's it?
I mean, there's not much else to say.
It just reminds him of X.
It just reminds me of X, man.
It could be not a rap song at all. It just reminds him of X.
Yeah. It just reminds me of X. It has nothing to do with it. It just reminds me of X.
Hey, bro.
Get off my bag, dude.
I'm gonna recommend this like 9 hours plus of like white noise. It reminds me of X.
You know that 12 hours of silence interrupted by
like Discord beeps. Oh, bro.
That's it. That one reminds me of X, dude.
Damn, bro.
Listen, I'm not good at dissecting songs, okay? I can't give you anything more in detail.
All right, fine. Fair enough. All right, what about you?
I'll pick it up. Mine for this pod, my sod of the pod, my sod is
my sod?
Still Running by Atu. Now, not a lot of people put respect on Atu, all right? But this
It's a good song.
yeah, it's part of one of his EPs. What I love about it is that in context of the EP, it's glue. It's fucking glue. It's in.
Oh.
The way I can describe the song genre-wise, it's like alternative British rap. Because we're there. Because it's not British trap rap. It's all. But
is this Atu spelled ATO?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Gotcha.
The song gives like this. It's sort of a tragic, euphoric type song. So
yeah.
That's what I like about it.
Atu has a style of like telling a story in the middle of like in this rap. It's like, when you think of like story like lyrics in a rap, I think a lot of people tend to think about like maybe like NF.
Yeah.
Because NF has very, very like story based raps, and he even did one where it's like just completely a story. And it was nice, but Atu has more like life story in him in his raps. And it's very chill. His instrumentals aren't as like hard as NF. It's not like cinematic. It's very chill.
And a big reason for that is because it's mostly produced by my guy.
My guy.
My boy.
My boy.
My guy.
The one and only.
The one and only. Eden.
So who? Okay, I was who's gonna say it?
Yeah, he's our boy. We respect Eden in this house. Any slander towards Eden, you will be classified as a non-wanker.
No
don't want
wankers
that.
there, man. No wankers over there.
Yeah.
Wait, what's that? Oh, he ain't wanking.
No, he ain't wanking over there.
If you ain't winking, you ain't hanging.
Yeah,
Right?
you ain't hanging with us. You ain't
hanging. You ain't swinging.
You ain't doing the depresso. You ain't doing the
winking.
depresso times. You ain't doing the depresso times of Eden like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
God. Okay. Is that what we're gonna leave this one off?
Yeah.
Depresso
If you ain't
time.
wanking, you ain't hanging.
Right.
I want that to be the episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you ain't hanging, you ain't swinging. That's the continuation.
Right. Okay. So, I guess everyone should just be a wanker.
Coping.
Man, just wank. Everyone that like learn from Wall Street. Just wank.
From Wall Street. Okay. All right. Anyways, this has been the C.W.H podcast. That is the Coping Wankers Hideout. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to us talk about our stuff for the week. Next week should be very interesting because I think we're gonna go into even more controversy and stuff. Assuming that there's more added to it. Hopefully some more other interesting stuff. Maybe a bit more lighthearted because I know this week was a bit more serious and like a lot of repercussion talk. But
A lot of stats.
a lot of stats. That's why we chose blue today. Like that's why majority of the frame today is like mostly gray and blue and dark. But it's okay, you know. New Year blues happens. But yeah. Thank you guys for listening in, and we'll see you all in the next episode. Goodbye, everyone. Take care of yourself.
Bye.
I miss them.
I miss them already.
I want them back.
I want them back. I miss them already. What are we?
God damn it.